Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Good Day Chula Vista, and we're on episode 86. Thank you for joining us. I'm Faby Gonzalez with Coldwell Banker West, your local realtor here in Eastlake. And today we're going to be talking about solar panels and all the savings you can get from owning some. So stay with us, it's going to be a good show. Okay, so I'm here with Ryan. Ryan.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Faby. I love being on the show. It's great to be back, and I'm excited to talk about how well your solar is performing.
I am so excited, but before we get going, guys, we're going to be talking about solar panels, so please share this video to your pages right now so you can help us get your friends into this video. So please share it now, and if you make a comment, ask a question, you'll be entered into our drawing at the end of the show, and we're going to give out a couple of gift cards. You know the drill, so make sure you let us know where you're watching us from. So share the video now, please, and if you watch it after, please share it after. Don't it's okay if you share it when it's not live anymore. But Ryan, I know who you are, but let them know who you are.
Sure. So my name's Ryan Turner. I work for SunRun Solar. It's a national solar company, but I'm here in San Diego, cover all San Diego County, South Riverside County, Orange County, and I've been in the solar industry for 4 years now. Always worked with SunRun the entire time, and it's been incredibly rewarding to help families, homeowners save a bunch of money when they make the switch to solar. So no longer buying all their power from SDG&E. Now they're supplemented almost all of their energy, or a good amount of it, from solar, and it just turns into saving hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars over the life of the system.
Yeah, and plus you have good energy. You're making good energy, green. You're going green.
Yep.
So, Ryan, well, this is your third time here with us.
Yeah.
Right?
Third time.
And every time we have good news, let me lower the volume on our iPad here. There we go. So, I was at Home Depot this weekend buying some paint, and one of the guys was following me around the store, and I was like, "Why is this guy following me?" Right? And then he's like, "Oh, I was going to offer you solar, but I know you already have some." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I do." He's like, "Yeah, with SunRun, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." He's like, "Yeah, because I work with SunRun, and I know Ryan is your rep." I'm like, "Yeah." And he was saying that because I guess he's a salesperson there at Home Depot.
Yeah.
But they get a different rep. It depends on the area. And
Yeah.
he said, whenever I get Ryan, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, my clients are going to get good customer service." So that speaks very highly of you.
That's awesome to hear. That gives me a good feeling that, I try to make sure that the customer is well taken care of, has a great experience, because it's not always, construction may not always be a great experience. There are mistakes that can be made, and there are other parties that we're working with, like the city, the utility. It doesn't always work out to be perfectly smooth, although a lot of times it goes great. But even yourself, Faby, it wasn't a great experience.
I was his guinea pig. Anything that could go wrong went wrong. But you know what? I'm really, really happy. I can tell you that even if I had to go through all that again, I would do it.
It was worth it?
It was totally worth it, because anything that happened, I was compensated for it. It was fixed to my satisfaction. And then once you get to see all the savings, it's totally worth it. Anything that is going to be worth it, it's going to take some hard work.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it took a little bit longer than we anticipated it to. And, that happens once in a while when you're working with jurisdictions. But we're doing, this is all we do. SunRun does rooftop solar installations. So everyone throughout the county and across the country knows who we are, because we're always in the permitting office, pulling permits for our customers. So, when things do go wrong, it's nice having someone like myself or SunRun there to back you up, who has the resources, who has the relationships that can get things fixed or get it handled in a timely manner. But most of the time, it goes great, and there's no issues at all, and it's super fun because it's just a great experience, and then you save money right away as soon as you get the system turned on, and you can start seeing the savings.
Yeah, you have to turn on the system. Don't forget that. We'll talk about that a little more. But so Ryan, why should people get a solar system?
I think I think it's more than just for financial reasons. Like the savings is fantastic, but we need to think about longer term effects of what we're doing, as a society, as a community, and choose ways that are going to be more sustainable, because it's, we have one planet that we're living on. It's not like we have another option, so we have to take care of this one.
Yes.
So we have to do all the things with our dollars, vote with our dollars that is going to be good for our community, good for our family, good for the planet. Win-win-win. And just it's living in San Diego, you just so happen to save a lot of money by making the switch. So it's a real easy decision to just add solar on the roof.
So besides doing it for money, it's also for saving our planet.
Yeah.
Going green. So I know you are the preferred company here at Coldwell Banker West, and the preferred rep also, right?
Yeah.
So how many agents from our company have you worked with already?
So worked with in what capacity? Are they my customers or just working with them?
Just working with them.
Yeah, I work with, I would say, at least 50 different agents, whether it's through Point Mortgage, or it's Coldwell Banker West, or it's California Preferred Escrow. There are plenty of people, title escrow, that I speak with a lot with transactions, because solar is not well known when it comes to the real estate industry. And I recognized that early on, so I wanted to be the go-to resource for the real estate industry when it comes to solar, and the agreements and the transactions of changing hands and transferring the agreement, or what the options are for prepaying a lease or taking ownership, or if the system's paid off, or how is it financed with property taxes. There's so many different ways to look at it, and it's just so much information for an agent to walk around. In their head, it's just not possible. Like, you guys already have all kinds of information going on. So I just like to be there so I can be a quick guide resource, and get fast, accurate answers to the questions at hand, whether it's on the buyer side or the seller side.
Right. To the agents. So if any agent has a question, let's say they're getting a listing and they have a question, can they go to you even though they're not working with you?
100% yes. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be a SunRun system. If they're buying a house with a solar system, or better yet, listing a house with solar, I've offered just a free service to review the contract, pick out the most important information that everyone needs to know, writing the few sentences that you can post on the MLS that talk specifically about the solar. And that way, when the buyers come to look at the home, they already know about the solar. It's not a surprise. It doesn't become a negotiation after they're in escrow. It doesn't become this huge problem, which it usually becomes a problem if no one understands what the solar is, or how it was financed or not, or if it's leased or not. Those are all the big questions and then the concerns. So just having all that information ahead of time and putting it on the MLS solar's not going to be the issue anymore.
Yes, a lot of people were getting negative information about solar, and they were saying, "Oh, don't get solar because you won't be able to sell the property, or you have problems when you're trying to sell your property or refinance your property."
Right.
That was the case years ago because it was so new and not everything was being done to benefit the owner in case they needed to sell. But nowadays, most companies have adjusted the way they do things. So you can sell your property even if you have a solar system, even if you have it on a lease. It's really easy with this company to just transfer it to the new buyer with the same contract that you had. So it's not going to be an issue when you're doing that. So far, we've only had a problem when they had a hero, when they got their solar through the hero program. That's been because the seller has to pay it off before they can change title.
Well, they should be able to pay it off through escrow.
Right.
Yeah.
But then they cannot just pass it on to the buyer.
Yeah.
They have to pay it off.
It has to be paid off. That's the stipulation. But it's a lot like, I guess the issue with Hero is just the lack of communication from the finance company and being able to get a payoff amount. But typically, if you work with like California First, right? Renew Financial, they're the ones that initially wrote the program for financing the solar or any other energy efficient upgrades through your property taxes. They're easy to get a hold of. They're easy to get a payoff amount from. They accept payment through the close of escrow. Doesn't have to happen beforehand. So it's just be aware of what your options are. Understand what your options are as far as who's your financing options, who's your leasing options for solar, who your buying options are from. And it's not, I see so many comments come up in a chat where people will say, only buy your solar, don't ever lease it. And I try not to say don't ever do anything, because there's always a solution for something,
Right.
And you have to just look at it from the perspective of, who's signing up for the agreement, what makes the most sense, what their plans are with the property in, short term, long term. You just have to look at the whole picture. There's not a one solution for everything. Just owning it is not it's not always the best way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like to own it, right? Some, like, I didn't want to own it. I just wanted to lease it. I lease my car. So to me, it's like I lease it for 3 years, return it, get a new one.
Yeah.
I'm leasing the solar panels because I think in 20 years or whenever my contract expires, I want to get a new one. So I want to start a new lease, right? And I want to be saving money and make sure somebody else is paying the maintenance on them. Because if I buy them, once I pay them off, then I'm stuck with the maintenance, right?
Yeah, the maintenance does come along with ownership.
Right.
You have to pay out of pocket when it's time to fix the equipment when it falls outside the manufacturer warranty. And typically, maintenance on solar is not incredibly expensive. It's replacing the inverter every 10 to 15 years, depending upon how long it lasts. But it's not a huge maintenance cost, but there is maintenance costs, and there's also, you have to monitor it, because if you own it, that falls on the homeowner to monitor to make sure the system's working. Doesn't mean you have to be an expert, but it does mean that you have to initiate contact with the installation company, right? You'd have to initiate contact with SunRun in order for them to take a look at the system to see if it's working properly. So you don't have to be an expert, but you do have to just kind of oversee it. Whereas
that's only if you own it.
Yeah, that's if you own it. Whereas if you lease it, SunRun does all that work for you.
Yeah, we can complain to them like, hey.
So for a busy person like yourself, that's focused on helping people, buy and sell homes, and it's adding monitoring of your solar to your lifestyle just is not a good it's not a good use of your time. Yeah, no, it's just not.
It's not.
Let us do it. Right? That's what we're here for. And if you go to companies like Google, Apple, Disneyland, they all do solar lease power purchase agreements. Right? They make great products, or they provide a great experience. They're not, they're not managing or owning their own system. They just want the benefits of what solar does, which is cleaner, more affordable, predictable cost of energy.
Right, without having to deal with everything else.
With anything else, yeah.
Right. So, but you do offer if they want to buy it and then the lease, both options, and both are really easy to transfer to the new buyer if you're selling your home. Yeah. So. Let's talk about how to prepare. So let's say, okay, first of all, let's start at the beginning. So if I want to get solar, do I need to pay anything for you to come and see my numbers and get an estimate?
Nope, all estimates are free. There's no charge for having an evaluation, whether or not solar makes sense. So it's usually, what I like to look at is, for a homeowner that's considering solar, first, does solar make sense? How much are you using? How much are you paying? Is it worth your time to even consider solar? Does it make sense based on your usage? And then secondly, if it does make sense, well, now is SunRun or myself the right person to partner with to handle your project? Right? Those are the two main questions. So does solar make sense? And then who do you want to do your project and handle your project? Who do you want backing you up if anything were to go wrong, if the system needs maintenance or something? You want to make sure you choose someone who's going to be around long term to support you. Yeah.
So what's the difference of going through Costco or Home Depot or coming directly to you?
So always come directly to me because we can, there's certain incentives, signing up with Costco, you get a Costco cash card, signing up with Home Depot, there's a Visa gift card and stuff. So there's incentives for, each direction, but just come directly to me and then we can decide what is the best option, whether it's going through Costco or not going through Costco, going through Home Depot or doing a power purchase monthly. Or one thing we didn't mention was a power purchase prepaid agreement, which is something, it's like a prepaid solar lease that only SunRun offers. And it's actually the product that I sell the most of, when I review options with homeowners, we look at all the options. We don't just say, well, this is what I think you should have because, I make more money. It's not the case. I don't make any more money. It's all the same to me. I just want to earn your business. And then let's look at all the options and evaluate each one. What are the pros and cons? And then the homeowner can decide what makes them feel most comfortable with.
What is a prepaid program?
Prepaid program is a power purchase agreement paid in full. So there's no monthly payments. So the prepaid agreement means that the federal 30% tax credit, currently 30%, will be already included in the price. So for example, if you do a customer-owned system that costs, say, $20,000, the prepaid system would be $14,000 because it would be the 30% automatically deducted from the price.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get the upfront tax credit, and then so you're financing less if you're going to finance it, or you're paying out of pocket less because you don't have to worry about paying the full amount and then applying for your tax credit at the end of the year when you do your income taxes. So it just gives you that upfront discount.
Okay.
And then it gives you all the benefits of the company, SunRun, maintaining the system for the next 25 years. So all maintenance is included in that 25-year prepayment. You're just prepaying for your power for the next 25 years. And then you have the options at the end of the 25 years. Purchase the system at fair market value, which would be fair market value of 25-year-old solar equipment. I don't even know where to buy 25-year-old solar equipment right now.
They would probably charge you to take out.
Well,
who wants to own it?
Yeah, so we do free removal. So you can either purchase at fair market value, or you can have it removed at no cost, or you can upgrade the system to get all new equipment.
Right.
So you have all your options available in front of you 25 years later, if you're still living in that home 25 years later.
Yeah, usually people don't stay in the same house, even though that's the plan when they buy it, but usually they end up moving, upgrading, and selling it. Okay, so then there's those three options: prepaid, lease, and purchase.
Yeah, so prepaid power purchase agreement, a monthly power purchase agreement, or just a system purchase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to some of the people that are here.
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. You can scroll. I'll let you do it because I always do it, so you can say hi to everyone there and
sounds
scroll
good.
up.
Hi, Salvador. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Jenny. Hi, Carmen. Letty. It's good to see you again, as always. Carolina. Anna as well. Thank you for joining us. And David, thank you for logging in, saying hi. Jesse, as well as Martha. Hi, Martha.
Hey, Martha.
And Sal again. Okay. Anna, all right. Karen joined us. Thank you,
Karen. Always
Yep.
supporting us. Thank you, Karen.
And Celeste?
Celisette.
Sorry, I'm terrible. David, thank you for joining us, as well as Paula, Patty. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for joining us. Okay, so make sure you give us your hearts, because when you give us the hearts, that helps us get promoted on Facebook for free. So we like that.
I didn't
we
know
want
that.
to. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Did you know that? So when you're doing your live videos, you want to ask people, come on, give me some hearts, because when you start getting hearts, then the system of Facebook sees that, so it opens it up to more of your friends.
Nice marketing tip.
So
Love it.
Give us some hearts, guys. Come on, Vero, give us some hearts. Okay, so we have some questions here. Let's see, Karen. Are your installers your employees, or do you outsource?
Employees.
They're employees.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for the information. Good to know about the agreements. That's Patty Reese. Let me see if there are any questions here. Should the weight of the panels in relationship to the types of roofing be considered? That's Karen asking.
Yeah, so before we ever do any installation project, first we do a free assessment. You can get a free proposal, determine if it makes sense, and then from there we have to do a survey, a complete survey. So we check for electrical, roof material, if your roof is in good shape, age of the roof, structurally sound roof, that's key.
Right.
And that's part of that whole weight load, if it's will be suffice. Now we work with a lot of different roofing types, so it's always good just to check with me first.
Yeah.
But there are a few roofing types that are more difficult to work with, or need more labor or materials to work with them. So there's roof types that are more costly to go solar, but you can still go solar.
Right.
Yeah. So there's nothing that's off limits.
Now, Sal Aguilera, one of our agents here. I've sold a few properties with solar. We real estate agents need to do our investigations and homework to help our sellers and buyers. Yes, Sal, definitely.
100%.
We need to do that as realtors, and we need to partner up with somebody like Ryan. We're so lucky to have him here because I've sent him some contracts, like for some of my clients that we bought a property and it had solar, and I think I sent those to you, right, to review, to make sure, or I think, it was a listing. I can't remember, but
one of the two. Either way, it doesn't matter whether it's a buy or a sell of a property. If it has solar, you can always reach out to me and just let me review the contract. So, ideally, as a professional in the real estate industry, you want to make sure that you have all the information you need about the property before you list it. And that includes the solar. So always reach out to me and make sure you have all the right information on the MLS when you go to list it.
Now, Jesse's asking, we usually pay $50 monthly to San Diego Gas and Electric. Would it make sense for us to go solar?
That is a low electric bill where it's not so much, you're not going to be saving any money from day one. Like most people, that have $100 electric bill or higher, they start saving right away. $50 electric bill is going to be more like a bill swap, where you're just switching to clean energy and you're not paying any more, than what you're already paying right now with SDG&E. So your savings would be much further down the road as SDG&E continues to raise rates, because they raise rates on average of about 8% a year. But in the last 10 years, over 200% increases, which is crazy. That's why you see the solar explosion in the market, because rates are so expensive. But in the long term, yes, you can save money with a $50 electric bill.
Now, Jesse, because I'm your realtor and I know the house you have, I know that you haven't gone through the summer. So when you bought the property, it was at the end of the summer, so you haven't really used your AC. So I would wait and see this summer how much your bills are going to be, because once you start using the AC, if you do, you'll see your bill increasing, because the way San Diego Gas and Electric does it is once you go over a certain amount, right, of energy, then they'll raise the price. So wait a year and then see where you are at the year, because it makes sense once you see the whole year instead of just looking at some months, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Faby. I think it's best to make sure you get at least some usage in the summer, minimum 1 month of summer usage where you're actually using your air conditioner. Then you'll know what your high bill is, and then your $50 bill will be like your low bill. So maybe on average, when you factor it all in, maybe your average monthly bill isn't $50. Maybe it's $110 when you factor in the high bills too.
Exactly. You do the average. Now, Karen is asking, does the payment to SunRun remains the same, or can it go up?
So we have the options where we could have a consistent increase every year, or we have the option where it never goes up. So we have all the options. You can choose whatever is best fit, for your needs and your plans with the property, how long you plan on staying there, and that whole bit.
I don't know what I have. That's a good question, Karen. I need to find out. I'm not going to stay there, but
she has one that goes up. So
okay.
Yeah.
But it's very low. Oh my God, with
low,
the amount
low
of
monthly payment.
So let's go a little bit over my stuff, like my solar panel. So being honest with you guys, because there's things that could happen. Sometimes you have to change your roof. Obviously, it's construction. Right now, I'm in the middle of the remodel in the house, and things have happened. Even though the workers are the construction guys are doing a really good job, things happen. We're humans. So at the beginning, I can tell you that I was a little frustrated because we had to change the roof, and then it was raining, and there's things we couldn't do because it was raining, and I was a little frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want things done in one day, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, Ryan, you even brought me flowers one day. I was like, I'm like, oh my God, can we just be done? And then we forgot to turn the system on. So that was like, I'm looking at my numbers, and I'm like, Ryan, like, I don't think this is worth it. And Ryan is like, no, it's definitely worth it, Faby. I don't have one single client that is not benefiting from this. So we sat down and we found out that my system wasn't turned on. So as soon as it was turned on, oh my God, I am getting credits. I have my system, my San Diego Gas and Electric account, to give me text every week to see the energy that I'm using, because my bills were between $500 and $750 in the summer.
Yeah.
So I was getting traumatized with those bills. So I wanted to get a text every week, like, okay, where am I at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I couldn't turn the AC off. You know, I needed the AC, and the pool had to be on 5 hours a day. So now I'm getting credits, even when there's no sun.
Yeah.
It's still generating energy.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So the key was getting the system turned on. That was,
Yeah.
And then once it was turned on.
And being patient.
Yeah.
Being patient with the process, because things happen like that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's totally worth it. I do have one of my friends that is going through the same company, but he went through Costco, and he was asking me, he's like, oh my God, it's taking longer than expected. Well, obviously you guys are busy because you guys are good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's companies that can get it done quick because they're not as busy, and there's a reason why they're not as busy.
Right.
So when they have a lot of work, and then you have to wait your turn, then obviously it takes a little longer. But I was telling him it's totally worth it when he texted me, and I guess he hasn't really worked with you, but because he went through Costco. But
Sure.
I told him, just hang in there, because they will do everything, finish it up, and turn it on, and it's going to be totally worth the savings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so your high bills, $700 sometimes in the September, August months, and then but even your lower bills were like $200. I remember some of the months were even
I think my lowest one was
$250. Yeah. And now you're paying. Do you mind if I share how much you're paying?
No.
With them?
No.
So $141 a month for solar, and it's covering all her needs.
And I'm getting a credit.
And she's getting credits that she'll be able to use in the summer when she has those really high usage.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe your SDG&E bill in the summer might be $30 or $40.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's $50. That means your total bill is $190, and before it was
Compared to
$700. So it's good. It works out. The math works out really well. The more you use, the more you should absolutely consider solar. Of course, with those small bills, usually what I see is if you have high bills in the summer and then you have your smaller bills in the spring, what solar typically is take maybe a little bit more than your lowest bill, and that's your bill every month year round. Mm-hmm. And that's what solar does. So it just wipes out all the high bills and brings it all down to a nice predictable payment. And that's whether, if you do a solar power purchase monthly plan or solar lease, or you're financing it with a loan. It's just predictable, consistent billing that you can budget around. And it's not going to be a shock, in the summertime when you're trying to keep the house cool and we're having an extra long summer, and you're not going to be paying outrageous summer
Like
bills
I
with
was.
SDG&E.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were not turning on the AC a few days, and my sons were like, "Oh my God, like we didn't get the house." That's we shouldn't have to do that.
And I'll add one more thing too. So it seems like we talk a lot about monthly payments because that's just what we're used to. But if you actually run the numbers on, if you have money and you're like, hey, I got $15,000 to spend. I'm going to get solar and invest the $15,000 into my solar purchase. And then you run the numbers on, well, what is that? How long does it take for me to recoup that $15,000? Yeah. And typically what I see is a 5-year payback period.
Wow.
5 years, which is 20% ROI, 20% return on investment, which if you take $15,000 and try to get 20% return, there's not a lot of options for you to get that.
No.
That's really, really tough to do.
Right.
So with solar, it's easy, especially if you go with myself and SunRun, because we make it easy, provide a great experience, handle all the maintenance and everything else, so you don't have to lift a finger. You're literally moving the money that you normally spend with a utility, and you're putting it back into the value of your house by purchasing solar with it. And then you're getting an incredible return on investment for that money. So another way to look
And now let's talk about the price, like the average price, because we're talking about like monthly payments and your bill. So what is the average? Because I know the average price from San Diego Gas and Electric is how much usually?
The average cost from San Diego? For like an average bill?
Or for the, what is it, kilowatt?
So the kilowatt hour rate. Right. Yeah, the average kilowatt hour rate is 28 cents per kilowatt hour.
28 cents.
28 cents with SDG&E.
Okay.
And then if we're looking at, say, zero investment, just I want solar with a kilowatt hour rate, the fixed rate with SunRun is 21 cents. So for zero investment, you can reduce your average kilowatt hour rate by 7 cents. No money out of pocket. And
when I was doing mine, and I had no money out of pocket. Well, I changed my roof, so I wanted to get a brand new roof. So you guys paid for most of it. I only helped like I think 1/3. But when we did the average last time, the price was like 15 cents.
Yeah, so because we went with the option that goes up. So the 21 cents never goes up, but you can get a lower rate like 16 or 17 cents like what Faby did. And then that rate or that monthly payment each year goes up by 3%.
But San Diego Gas and Electric is also going to go up on their price.
Yeah, they go up.
So I would always be way lower.
You're way less than what SDG&E is doing. And it's about, and that's, again, looking at the situation and evaluating the homeowner and what their goals are and maximizing the cash flow is really what we want to do. We want to maximize your cash flow.
Right.
So zero investment, lowest monthly payment possible. It's going to be good for Faby, and it's going to be good for whoever buys her home when she turns around to sell it. So it's a win-win, and you get clean, renewable, predictable energy. Yeah.
So I forgot to mention that besides saving all that money right away as soon as I turn it on, I got a new roof.
Yeah, that's right. And that's right. That was a nice part about it, that SunRun was able to contribute towards that
towards
roof.
The roof.
Yeah.
And then I could have also gotten maybe the box, right?
Yeah, we could have.
So what is that box? Tell them.
The electrical panel box, the where the meter is, right? You have a main panel where we plug in for the solar. We have to create a breaker where the solar goes for a shutoff. And so a panel box, electrical panel box, can only allow for so much solar to be installed before it's maxed out. Just like if you're installing a swimming pool or AC and you never had it before, you may end up having too much load for that panel, and it needs to be upgraded. So we elected not to do the upgrade, but just to reduce the system size a little bit. So originally we were oversizing your system to compensate for more usage at like 110%. But then we dropped it all the way down to 92% because we didn't want to incur the added cost of the electrical panel upgrade on top of the roof as well, right? We just want to choose one or the other.
Right.
So we were able to make that adjustment at design review after the survey, and then pick the most optimal plan.
And another option that you have is that you can get that battery.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what does that do?
Yeah, so the battery has two functions. So LG makes home storage battery that's a direct current battery, so which means it gets charged by the solar panels. And then that battery, once it's full, will stay full until it reaches the peak hours where SDG&E is charging the most for the energy that you're using. And it will sell its energy back to SDG&E. So there's a time of use plan that SDG&E has where they have lower rates during the day, higher rates between 4 and 9 p.m. And the battery will store the energy that you produce in the morning and sell it back to SDG&E after 4 o'clock, maximizing the energy that you produce, maximizing the value of the energy. And in addition to that, the battery will do that 5 months out of the year during the summer. In the wintertime, it'll stay fully charged. But if there was ever a power outage, your home would your battery would kick in and supply power to the home. That way you would never be without power. You'd always have your kitchen backed up. So you'd always have, the refrigerator would never go out. always have ice in the freezer, all that good stuff.
Air conditioning if needed.
Unfortunately, the air conditioner is a little too much load to
Right.
back up, but at least you'll be able to, do fans or something like that.
something else.
So to keep the house cool, and you can run extension cords from the rooms you back up. Basically, you back up 4 breakers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
was
get 4 choices of breakers. So usually people choose the kitchen, like the living room area, a master bedroom, and then they have like one other option, maybe like the garage or something. So their gate opens or their garage door opens just in case there's a power outage. They don't have to do it manually.
Right.
So,
That one is great. I don't have that one, but I'm still saving a lot of money. And I have a new roof.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm really happy. I know that Karen is on the fence of getting, because she has a pool.
Yeah.
And she has air conditioning. And she has tons of grandkids
Yeah.
that are always in the pool. So I know she needs hers.
She needs a free assessment. Is what she needs to start. Yeah.
I think she was waiting to see how happy I was with mine, because she wanted to see like the whole thing, and I'm telling her like, oh my god, like I'm so happy, you have no idea, like I'm the money that I'm saving.
Yeah.
Every time I get a text from San Diego Gas and Electric, before I used to be like, oh my god, let me see how much my bill is gonna be. Now I'm so excited because I open it like, oh my god, how much money did I?
She sends me screenshots. Look, check this out. Like, it's awesome. I love it.
I know, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Like that I get that. Before I used to send you like, look at my bill and a sad face, right? Like,
Right.
hurry, I need my system.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited that this summer I'm putting the house on the market, and I can show the new buyer like all my savings, because I'm leaving. They will never have to go through what I went through with all those high bills, because in that house the bills are always going to be that way.
Yeah.
With the AC and the pool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what else can we tell them?
I think just the key is to take an opportunity to reach out to me, get whatever information that you want. I'm happy to answer your questions. We don't have to sit down. If you just want to text me or direct message me on social media, Facebook, I'm easy to find. Solar Ryan on Facebook, or
Solar Ryan.
yes. Or search at Ryan TJ Turner. That's just my name. So all my social media handles come up.
Yeah.
Or you can reach out to me directly on my cell phone. Send me an email, whatever is most comfortable for you. But the most important piece of information that I want to share is this year the federal tax credit is 30%. And next year, January 1st, if you're not installed and turned on, next year the tax credit drops to 26%. So if you're considering solar, let's look at it this year.
Yeah.
And then also take into consideration that it's a construction project. It takes 2 to 3 months, maybe 4 months if we're talking about replacing a roof or doing electrical panel upgrade. SunRun is doing 60 to 100 installations every single month. And then on top of that, SunRun's not the only company doing solar. There's a lot of, companies out there that are applying for permits. So as we get closer towards the end of the year, those procrastinators are going to be like, oh, I need to get my solar done. It's going to be too late. So it's better just to start now. Look at it now. Make your decision now within the next month or two. Because as we get into summer, and as the jurisdiction lines get longer and SDG&E gets backed up, and then you don't know if you need a panel upgrade or not, it's just going to get you're just rolling the dice whether or not you're going to get the 30% tax credit or you're going to get the 26% tax credit. But just to let everyone know now that are listening, the tax credit goes from 30% this year to 26% next year to 22% the year after that. And at the end of 2022, it's 2021. It's goes to zero. The residential tax credit goes to zero.
Oh wow!
So it goes from 22% to zero. So
hurry, guys!
Yeah. Make
sure you get your solar panels. Go green. Definitely call Ryan. I highly recommend him. When my system wasn't turned on, I did get I got the money back for those months that I didn't pay. If something happens to the system, what I learned, because I had to go through the contract, is let's say your system doesn't function for whatever happens, they give you like an average. They see how much money you would have saved if something went wrong with the system and you're on a lease, and then they reimburse you, not all of it together, but then they do like an average every month or something.
Yeah,
like
there's a performance guarantee
right
backed by SunRun where it's 95% of the power is guaranteed, whether if you get it or not. If you don't get it, you'll get it because Sunrun will write you a check for the difference. Every 2 years, you'll get a reimbursement check if the system's not performing up to what it's supposed to. But for Faby, because we made a mistake, that she actually just got reimbursed, for her electric bill.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Yeah,
He's saying that.
because we messed up and we wanted to make it right, so we made it right by compensating.
And it wasn't even them, it was actually, when they went to fix the roof.
Yeah.
It had to be turned off to fix the roof, and then we just forgot to turn it on.
Yeah.
That was it. Oh my God. All
just
the money.
Human error. Yeah.
I'm like, my system is not getting any energy, and then Ryan is like, well, Faby hasn't been that sunny. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're right, but I think you thought I was, just expecting like miracles. But then once you saw it, you're like, okay, hold on, you're right. Like this is not really.
That was the thing. I always try to stay in contact with all my customers and check in with them. And I asked Faby, I was like, well, let's see, like let's log into Sunrun, let's log into SDG&E and figure out what the problem is. As soon as we logged in and did the research on it, took like 15 minutes or something. We're like, the system's not even on. So I just drove over there and turned it on.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that, because you came all the way here to my office, and by the time I got here, you were already on the phone with them trying to get everything fixed. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
And I know that Sarah Heck is one of your clients, and
Yeah.
she always, she's one of the reasons that I wanted to go move forward, because she's like, oh my God, yeah, definitely do it.
Yeah.
She spoke very highly of
Should
you
I
as well.
name drop some more top producing realtors that are my customers? Like
Yes.
Laura Steffen.
Stefan.
Yeah, she's amazing marketer on
yes.
Facebook. She promotes me all the time, just like Faby and Sarah. So thank
Sarah
you
too, yeah.
to all three of you. And Momi Gonzalez, who's also a realtor here, Coldwell Banker West, but she does a lot of support online for me, which generates a lot of business. So I thank all of you for doing that. And then on top of that, Jerry Soto, he sends me referrals, though he doesn't. I'm not. I kind of met him after he's already had. So I meet a lot of people after they already have solar, but once I meet with them, I have a long list. Anthony and Daya, he sends me referrals.
These are all agents from our company.
Yeah, so there's a long list. Peter calls me and says, hey, I got a referral for you, which is awesome. Peter Mendiola.
Yeah. And the reason they do that is because they know that you're going to stand by the work that you guys do. That's one of the reasons. And it's, it's a customer service. We're really into customer service, and you definitely have that. We just need to get Karen on board.
Karen, we're coming for you. We're going to do a solar analysis for you.
She has no AC. She was saying, I wish I had AC. Well, if you start saving the money on the San Diego Gas and Electric bill, you can use that money to buy your AC.
Absolutely. Use your tax credit to buy your AC.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Pays for it.
There's a question. Let's see. Tony Santiago said, Ryan is great.
Oh, thanks, Tony.
Good, because this company, they cracked my roof and it's not fixed yet. Oh, that other company, yeah. Definitely go with Sunrun. Kelly, if I still have a payment once a year to San Diego Gas and Electric, does this mean I need more panels?
It depends.
On my roof to avoid this payment?
It depends on how much your payment is a year for SDG&E. So everyone who has solar has an annual payment with SDG&E that could range anywhere between $60, or I've seen some with $0, but all the way up to hundreds or a couple $1,000s. So it depends on how much you're paying SDG&E. It's always good to check in with me to do it. You can send me your electric bill, and I'm happy to review it at no charge, or it just takes me a couple minutes to take a quick look at it, and I can let you know whether or not adding more solar is worth it.
Right.
Just does it make sense? Does adding more solar make sense or not?
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't always make sense.
Yeah.
Now, for the agents that logged in later, he will definitely go over your contracts if you're getting a listing that already has solar panels with another company or with his company, or if you're buying a property for one of your clients, if you're in escrow with solar. Definitely give them a call, have them go through the contracts, because I know they're hard to understand and we might be missing some stuff, and we don't want to be the ones to read it and try to understand it and explain it to our clients. Just have Ryan look at it. He's definitely here to help us out. So if you're an agent, or even if you're just a client and you don't really understand your contract, definitely reach out to him, right?
Absolutely, anytime.
So what's your number?
It's 949.
Do you want to put it in the comments?
949-903-3393. That's my cell phone. 949-903-3393. That's the first number I ever got when I bought a cell phone. And so I've kept it the whole time. So, but I do have a 619 number as well, but it just ends up forwarding to that number anyway. But 619-395-5365. I live in San Diego, so I usually like to do face-to-face, appointments. But if you just need some quick answers, just call or text me, and I'll get you your answers.
Well, perfect. Everybody loves it. Everybody says this is great information. Good stuff. Thank you. She's not looking forward for the summer because she doesn't have solar yet. Thank you. So I think we covered a lot, right?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll give out a couple of gift cards for Starbucks.
Okay.
And you'll be there.
Do the honors.
You do the honors. All right.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Who's going to be the lucky?
And the winner is...
They're all sticky. We do it on purpose.
Karen. Yay! Congratulations,
okay.
Karen.
Let's do another one.
All right. And the gift card goes to Reynaldo.
Yay! Thank you. Well, I think that was great information, and thank you for doing that in my house, doing all the work you guys did. I'm definitely very pleased and very happy to be saving money every month.
That's great to hear, Faby, and thank you for having me on the show. It's always great to be here. I'm happy to come back anytime. Anyone can reach out to me anytime, and I'm just glad that we got your system up and running and you're saving tons of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, so.
Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 4 p.m. We're going to be talking about investments, like, if you don't have your retirement, your 401k, or, any retirement plans, we're going to have somebody here talking about that. As realtors, we don't have that we're self-employed.
Yeah, you have to do your own investments.
Yes.
Yeah.
We cannot just rely on Social Security anymore.
Yeah, who can?
It's not going to be enough.
Yeah.
So make sure you join us next week because, get solar, start saving. Maybe that money should go towards my investment.
That's right.
My retirement.
Saving a ton of money. Now you can invest more in your investments.
Yeah, so make sure you log in next week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. And hopefully you got some good tips from here. And if you guys are not getting the green energy, if you guys haven't gone green with solar, call Ryan and get it started before you lose that credit, 30%, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you.
Thanks, Faby.
See you next week. How do you like my